The subtle changes in his world will require him to either fight to preserve or to release it in exchange for a new. But in time, what was once subtle will become extreme, forcing him to choose a path. This is where the common man will either take his first step towards his awakening, or he will choose to hit life's snooze button, as the masses do. At ease, brothers. You know what? Awareness, consciousness, whatever you want to call it, it's a choice. I didn't always know that. For the longest time, brothers, I thought that it seemed to me like certain people were exposed to certain information that would free their minds and give them fulfillment, and that some other people, the masses, just weren't privy to this information. I thought that for the longest time. I said, you know what? All this knowledge that, people on this channel that we share amongst brothers and sisters, I said, you know what? We've just been given access to this information, and the people that still roam this world sleep. Like they have no idea that it exists. But that's not true, brothers. Like, consciousness and awareness is a choice. I'm gonna tell you this. Like, for the longest time, man, I would feel bad. I would think about like the people before us, like our fathers and our grandfathers' generation. And I would say to myself, man, like, it's kind of jacked up how we have access to all this information and they didn't. You know what I'm saying? Like at any point in the time of the day, I can pick my phone up and listen to some Bobby Hemmett and listen to some Neville Goddard and all the greats we talk about. I say it's jacked up, man, because those before us didn't have access to that. So it's not fair that they just had to roam around this world as sleepwalkers. It's not fair, but when I think about it, man, the way that the world is now is no different than it was back then. Like, when I was growing up, we still had television. We still had newspapers. And it's the same information that's coming over YouTube now. It's the same information that's coming over Instagram and the book right now. It was just in a different form, meaning people had the ability to look at the world and see what it was doing. And they could also feel that truth in their internal world, just like now. It's no different. They could see the resistance, and they could easily make a conscious choice to say, you know what? I'm going to participate in this game, or I'm going to travel that journey within to find my truth and create a bubble within this grand illusion. They had the choice even before television and newspapers. Hell, people still had telegraph or something. Hell, even before that, from the beginning of the time, people still had word of mouth, which is the original social media. You know what I'm saying? So people have always been able to see what the world was doing, and we're given a choice to make a conscious decision to say, you know what? I see the world, but I'm not going to play that game. I'm going to go toward a higher level of understanding. And I'm thinking about, like, right now, even with all the technology and information and books, it's, Audible and all that stuff accessible to us right now. All this information is accessible in the palm of our hands. People are still not choosing to do it. So it's not the time that we live in. This is something that has always been. So what I'm saying is, awareness and consciousness it's a decision. It's a choice, man. And like I said about our generation, but it's not just our generation, it's all generations. It's the generations that will be behind us. The masses will always choose to be entertained over being informed and guided. That's the thing. People would much rather be informed. A man would much rather pick his phone up and look at the hub. He would much rather pick his phone up and look at, butt cheeks on the gram. He would much rather pick his phone up and look at gossip. Who's getting divorced? Why women are still doing this? Women would much rather pick up their phone and listen to gossip, listen to the latest ratchet female rapper, instead of saying, you know what? Let me tap into something that's accessible that will free me from my current condition. In other words, I'm getting up Monday through Monday hating life. And instead of finding my way out of this situation, I would rather just be entertained as opposed to being informed. And for the longest, brothers, I couldn't understand. I'm like, why would a person choose that? I said, why would a person choose to spend all their time and energy on just staying consumed with the illusion, staying trapped, as opposed to, going inside and finding their way out? Why would a person do that? And I understood it, man. It's because to gain access to that information that will free you, it takes going on a solo trip. And that's a scary thing. It's a scary thing, man, to see that world, to feel another world inside of you, to see that path to travel to get to it, and understand that if you get to it, and understand that in order for you to get to this new knowledge, that you have to travel a path, that you have to walk down this trail by yourself in the darkness of unknown. That's what keeps people from doing it. So everybody is feeling it. It's a choice. So in other words, when things come on the news and they're preaching doom and gloom, and a person chooses to say, "Oh, you know what? Let's participate in this game. Oh, it's scary. Oh, everybody go get the jab. Oh, everybody do this. Oh, the economy is doing this." They're choosing to play that game. They don't have to play that game. They have the ability to create a world within the grand illusion and be governed by their own thoughts. They know this. Even the people that are walking around sleepwalking, that you think, they have no level of consciousness. They're conscious. They're just afraid. They're afraid. When they go participate in their religious services, which I'm not knocking because these are beautiful things, but when they're sitting inside their churches and mosques and all the rest of the names of religious buildings, they're getting this information, but they can look outside of the windows of their churches and say, you know what? There's more information. Like there's higher levels of freedom that I could obtain if I just on an energetic level allow myself to look outside the church for a second. Not saying I got to leave it, but let me look outside of it. But then they say this: if on an energetic level, I leave this church or this mosque, I'm going to be separating myself from the group of people that I've always known and loved. I'm going to be separating myself from my friends and my family. And I'm telling you, most people are scared to walk that road alone. They understand that there's more out there. They can look out the window and hear the messages that may contradict what they're hearing, and there's some truth resonating with it. But they're saying, you know what, man, I don't want to walk that road alone. I don't want to walk it alone. And what it comes down to is this, brothers. Even when a person decides to walk that road alone, let's say the small few decide to step out and say, you know what, let me take this path from collective consciousness. This is what makes even the majority of them come back. Because once they put one step on that path, what they'll notice is this: that old world begins to crumble. In other words, their friends and their family. I'm going to tell you this: when you take that path, there's a good chance that there's going to be some separation between, not even a good chance, it's guaranteed. It's guaranteed that the people in your life, the people that you interact with every day, the people that you work with, the people that you grew up with, there's gonna be some distance put in between you two, because you're going somewhere else. And I'm gonna tell you, a lot of people aren't willing to risk that. What they aren't willing to risk is that they aren't willing to risk going down a path that they know where fulfillment is, but they don't know what it looks like, as opposed to choosing a world that's already guaranteed. Like, I know that in my normal world, there is no fulfillment. I'm not happy. I'm miserable. But at least I know what to expect in this world. You know what I'm saying? They're not willing to shift their world up enough to lose a home or lose a car. In other words, truth is not more important to them than just being comfortable. To find truth means you have to be uncomfortable for a little bit. There's no way around that. To find truth, understanding, peace, fulfillment, to find all that stuff, it means you have to be uncomfortable for a little bit. And the thing is, when people see that world begin to crumble, they got one foot on the path. They see that world crumbling, they coming back to retrieve it. Just in case something goes wrong down this way. And the thing is, you can't do both. You can't do both. So what happens is when they come off this path and go back toward this old world, they just slowly fall back asleep and forget that the path even exists. So when you see them, you're like, man, why are they so consumed with all this negative energy? Like they complain about Monday through Monday. Why are they so consumed with the world that's keeping them there? It's because they're scared to travel that path alone. They would much rather be asleep, brothers. It's easier to stay asleep. You know what I'm saying? When you're looking for this fulfillment and you see your job getting shaky, you see the fact that you're moving a new path, you see that your old means of financial income are getting shaky, and you don't trust the process. You don't trust that what's on the other side of this bridge you're about to cross is going to be tenfold what you have now. You don't trust the process. You don't trust source energy. So what you do is you run back. Awareness is a conscious. I'm just not understanding this in the grand scheme of things. Awareness is a conscious decision. So when you see those people, that are sleepwalking, when you see those people, man, you say, man, they have no idea what's really taking place. They understand. They know. They understand the world they're submerged in. They understand that there's a completely way to live that's free. They understand this. All people understand this. They're just choosing not to go after it. I said this in a singular truth, man. I said, and it's talking about when a person's world begins to crumble. It says the subtle changes in his world will require him to either fight to preserve or to release it in exchange for a new. But in time, what was once subtle will become extreme, forcing him to choose a path. This is where the common man will either take his first step towards awakening, or he will choose to hit life's snooze button as the masses do. That's what the masses are doing. Every single day they wake up, they know there's another way to exist. But what they're doing, as soon as they wake up, on an energetic level, boom, they're hitting the snooze button. They're saying, you know what, I'm going to wake up and just operate in the same trance as I did yesterday. Yeah, I'm going to complain about it. You're going to hear me complain about it all day. I might even get on the worldwide internet and complain about it all day, knowing that there's another way to go. But I'm doing that strictly because this is comfortable. I'm doing that strictly because I understand that going down that new road means that I may lose this world that I have. I don't trust source. I'm going to tell you again, brothers, awareness, consciousness, it's a decision. I can remember having to add to my driveway just because I was still buying cars. I can remember having to get storage buildings to put my motorcycles and four-wheelers. And I was just constantly, accumulating these things, thinking that the next one was going to be it. I said, you know what? The next one I get, the next bike going to be it. Like when I get that 1300 booster, like that's going to be it. When I get the big truck and jack it up and put it on 35s, that's going to be it. When I get the vet, that's going to be it. When I get the crib, like that's going to be it. When I get the high rise, when I get the bad chick on my side, I'll finally have found my fulfillment. Never found it, brother. Never found it. So I said, man, I have to go on a journey, bro, to understand what's been kept from us. I said, I got to find out what's been kept from us, what's been hidden from us, brothers. And I'm telling you, once you find it, man, that's where your fulfillment is.